Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so we got the Rockets tonight, Laker fans. Finally done with that road trip. The game is here at Crypto.com Arena at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 Eastern, back to regular times on a Saturday night. And we got some good news. I think we got some of the best news we're going to hear. Vanderbilt and Rui Hachimura are not on the injury report. They will be playing tonight. Vanderbilt making his season debut tonight. We haven't seen him since the second game of the preseason, I believe it was, where his three-point shot looked like it had improved quite a bit. I don't know, somewhere in there during the practice or something, he injured his heel, and we haven't seen him since. So we are so happy to have him back. And of course, Rui Hachimura is going to be masked Rui tonight. He's been cleared to play after having a nasal fracture, for which required some surgery a week ago. And we're in good shape with him. And of course, you know, some of our other guys who have been back are expected to play tonight. Cam Reddish is expected to be a game time decision as well. All of these guys are game time decisions, but they're expected to play. Bron AD, game time decision, expected to play. So we're in a good spot there. For the Rockets, we're looking at a team that's only missing two guys, man. Victor Oladipo and Amen Thompson, of course, are still out. I believe Fred VanVleet is going to play through a thumb strain because he didn't play in the last game that they had against the Nuggets, where they lost the game by 10 points. You know, Jokic did his triple-double thing as usual. And I believe it was Porter who walked away with a great deal of points. I don't remember exactly how many he had, but it was a substantial amount, something like 40 or something like that. He really went off against them. And one thing that's glaring about the Rockets right now is Dillon Brooks is back to shooting like Dillon Brooks. He started the season hot from behind the arc, but as of late, he has gone back to being Dillon Bricks, as I call him. And that's right on time for us. Hopefully that continues, because he's been shooting us into oblivion in the first two matchups against this team. We won a close one against them last time. We edged it out. LeBron James put forth some heroics and got us through it in the fourth quarter. And you know, this game, you know, we're going to need to really zero in on the fact that they're a little more healthy than they were. A guy like Terry Eason is playing well right now. Jeff Green has been balling all season long. He's out there kicking tail. Alperen Sengun is putting up all-star numbers right now. And we just got to continue to understand that, you know, they have high-level lottery talent. Now, y'all know I've been talking about Cam Whitmore a lot as of late, but we never quite see him. But he did play in that Nuggets game. They gave him some minutes, and within 6 minutes of play, he scored 3 out of 4 buckets. So I think he's earned himself more minutes, and all of that stuff I've been telling y'all about Cam Whitmore is coming. It's coming, man. I don't know when they're going to start, when Ime Udoka is going to start to realize that this is probably the 5th best player on the team. But, you know, they're slowly working him into the equation, and I already know what he can do. So you don't want him to have a breakout against you, Lakers. Terry Eason, of course, I've already mentioned. Jeff Green has mentioned. They have a lot of small forwards that we have to deal with, so it's right on time for us to be getting back Vando and Rui and Cam. We get to see what our team looks like, basically fully healthy tonight for the first time. Sans Gabe Vincent, who is expected to miss a lot more time, is what I'm understanding. Who knows when he's coming back, dealing with a knee, and so that's just what we have going on. But we finally get to see what our team looks like, pretty much fully healthy, man. And so that is very exciting for me personally. I've been waiting for the Vando to get back. I'm not like a lot of people who are saying Vando's going to come back and be prime Dennis Rodman, but I do expect that he's going to come back and be able to give us some of those elements for ourselves, rebounding the ball, guarding the best player, slipping players back into rotation where they belong, giving us length. And it's just going to be so much more of a defensive team with him down there, man. So I'm very excited about that. AD's coming off a really good game, man. I believe he had over 30 points to get 14 boards. But it just wasn't enough of an impact to help us overcome the OKC Thunder in the last matchup. We got our hands tied there against a really, really, really solid OKC team that just flexed all of their young players against us and kind of exploited our missing players, you know. Jackson Hayes is also somebody who's going to be a game time decision who missed that particular matchup. So we were just missing a lot of length, and length that we will not be missing tonight if everything goes the way it's supposed to. So, you know, this is going to be an interesting matchup given the fact that this is a very athletic Houston Rockets team with a lot of young players. You know, they're playing well, although they've dropped their last 2 games. This is one of those matchups where if you're fully healthy, you like your team against them. And since we're coming in pretty much fully healthy, I like us against them, especially at home where they've lost 7 straight games on the road. So yes, that's really what it comes down to. We just got to continue to take care of home court. We have a 7-2 record at home, and that should hold, you know, serve as we're bringing back so much length and so much defensive and rebounding capability tools in those 2 players, Rui Hachimura and Jared Vanderbilt. So super relieved that our team is finally looking something like a basketball team. Hopefully we don't sustain any more injuries. Hopefully we can start, you know, engaging in practices that ultimately get the gelling going over the next several weeks, and maybe we can actually see what our team really looks like, what we're supposed to actually look like. We've been pretty average without these guys, but we expect that. You know, we've gone to the bottom of our bench and still managed to stay above 500, which I think is a great feat for this team. And you never know. All it takes is a couple of elements to slip players into their position and give you what Darvin Ham calls a balanced attack. And I think that that's something that we should want for ourselves, given the fact that we've missed so much and have still been pretty solid. You know, been able to beat teams and even play well against certain solid and good teams. So hopefully we can put ourselves in a position to get a real quality win tonight with a full team tonight. And as I said, with Gabe Vincent missing, you know, we're still missing a big element to what it is that we do. So hopefully we can get him back very soon and not lose anybody else in the process. But you know, it just feels good to be a Laker fan when your team is finally getting healthy, man. When you're finally getting the Vandalorian back and Rui Hachimura in the same game. It's really a big deal, man. This is not minor. It could kind of help us get away from guys like Taurean Prince, who haven't really been playing well. Put Austin Reeves in a position where he doesn't have to defend some of the players he has to defend. He can focus more on the offensive end, which is a big deal as well. Take some pressure off of Bron and AD, you know, defensively as well. Give us another player in the fast break that can help us and make sure that the ball ends up in our hands defensively to getting steals and blocks and stuff like that. You just need Vando, man. And hopefully now we can see his shot. You know, he's been working on it throughout the course of the summertime. Hopefully some of those habits can kind of make him so that he's more of a better corner shooter than he was last year. I know we love to stick him in the corner for some reason and dare him to hit that 3. Hopefully he's been working on that and can be more effective with that shot tonight, or rather as he goes forward. I don't know what to expect from him in one night, but at least he's back, man. At least he's back. So I'd imagine he's going to be on minutes restriction to some degree. I'd imagine, although I haven't read anything that says that. But I don't see him playing more than 25 minutes tonight. Not at all. Probably not even more than 15. But at least we can get him on the floor, see what our team looks like with him down there, man, which should be a very, very big deal. This is a very talented defensive player and somebody who can help us with ball continuity as well. He's a pretty good passer. So he should be able to take some pressure off of guys like Max Christie and Cam Reddish and even Anthony Davis as our primary defenders right now. And so that's what's really good, man. Hopefully we can move Taurean Prince all the way out of that starting lineup as Vando gets back in place. Maybe puts Vando in at that starting 3, see if that makes any sense for us. Although Darvin's going to want more for spacing if Vando can't hit that 3. But at least he gives us an option to let us get away from players that struggle, man. Because that's really what it is. We just get some of our depth back so we have more options. Now it's upon Darvin to use the options that are there in the correct way, and he's going to have to figure that out. So there may be some more hiccups and bumps and bruises, even though our team is fully healthy, just because our coach tends to struggle with certain decisions. When he has a lot of options, sometimes that's a bad thing. So where he's going to experiment and stuff like that, he doesn't, to my eyesight, tend to take certain games very seriously as it pertains to the regular season. He treats them like they're practice in a way, and that could really leave us in behind the 8 ball if we don't win these games. So I would rather our team, and as I've been talking about for weeks, just schedule more practices so that we don't have this type of stuff going on. We don't want to experiment in real games that matter, man. Every game matters, especially against Western Conference teams that you could see in the playoffs. You want your edge to get home court advantage. So this is one of those games, man. Houston Rockets, third meeting of the season. We've already split the series with them thus far. That first game did not go well. That second game was airtight, barely won by 1 point. So this isn't the greatest matchup for us. But we have had success against them, and now with us bringing in players that should help us defensively against these forwards, I'm very excited about what could happen against them going forward if we're healthy. So, you know, the Houston Rockets are a team who's, like I said, they dropped the last two, and, you know, they haven't been shooting as well, particularly Dylan Brooks, but as a team, they've had some good games. You know, they've played Denver 2 of the last 3 games and split the matchup there. In the first matchup with Denver, which was 3 games ago, they went up against a Denver team that couldn't throw a rock in the ocean. Denver shot below 30%, 35% from the field, below 25% from the 3. I mean, it was just a horrible, horrible Denver Nuggets team where, you know, Ime Udoka decided he was going to allow Jokic to beat him and nobody else, and they locked everybody else down. Gordon went 0 for 12, so they really had a solid, if not good, defensive game against that team. And we need to understand that they do have a fantastic coach that puts forth different defensive schemes out there for them to succeed with. And as he continues to learn his units, he's going to continue to become more creative. You know, Ime Udoka is one of the best in the business. And I just expect for him to bring it to us tonight with everything that he has. Alperen Sengun is a player who's been playing great. As of late, Jabari Smith has stepped into his own, has been playing much better. Last week, he had a really good week in fantasy basketball for me. You know, they have a good team. They really do. Jalen Green has been balling as of late as well. In fact, in the last matchup against the Denver Nuggets where they didn't win, you know, he played pretty well in that game with Fred VanVleet being out with the finger. And if I'm not mistaken, it was that first matchup against Denver where he had like 16 points in the third quarter. So he's really a player that's capable of stringing together a lot of points really quickly. So you got to be careful with him when he's coming out of the halftime locker room, particularly. He tends to come out with a lot more energy than the opponent individually. So we need to be careful there. Now, Fred VanVleet is averaging 9 assists. I do expect he plays tonight. We have got to be aware of just how much he and Alperen Sengun can pick us apart with their playmaking. Both the center and the guards average over 5 assists, and that is going to be something that we need to take seriously every time we play the Rockets. Sengun is going to be in the paint, shooting his floater, dunking the ball, making behind-the-back passes, and doing various different things like that. And we have got to take him seriously. And with Vando coming back, I'd imagine we're just going to be that much better defensively. So we tend to have some very inconsistent players right now, to be honest with you. You don't know what you're going to get from D'Lo. You don't know what you're going to get from Austin. You're not really sure what you're going to get from Taurean Prince. Anthony Davis is here and there with his scoring. It's just a lot of inconsistency right now. And so with the resurgence, or the reinsertion rather, of our small forward position, Rui, and of course Vando, I'd expect that they should kind of settle some of that in by taking some of those possessions away from those guys and incorporating more consistency from within their positions. Hopefully they can have consistent seasons this year. So that's really where I'm at, man. Austin Reeves, you know, I heard him speak about the game against OKC, and he was essentially saying he's getting the looks he wants, but they're just not falling. So hopefully he can kind of come around to just seeing the ball fall, and he's trying to work his way through what I think is a slump. And so hopefully we can get Austin Reeves to kind of settle back into what he needs to do with less defensive duties, given the fact that we have these players coming back in to help play D. So that's really what I'm hopeful for, man. He can focus on that offensive end and just start seeing some of these shots fall, start to see more of energy and interest taking him toward the rim and drawing fouls. And so, yeah, man, exciting game ahead. Finally got our Vando back, man. Finally got our Rui back. We're going to see them both on the same floor. Everybody's excited about Cam Reddish and Vando and what they could do defensively, stealing the basketball from other teams. So hopefully we can see them in units tonight. together. And I'm just curious to see what Darvin does now that he has a full squad. Like we said, I do wonder if he takes these games seriously in the regular season. What type of matchups or rotations will we see? Will that still continue to put a cap on our team if he's sending funky lineups out there that don't work? So, and that's going to be the thing, man. Now it's on Darvin. You got a full team. What's your thoughts? What do you want to do with this team? And what is your vision for this squad? That's the question. What is his overall mantra for the team? Are we defense to offense? Are we looking to shoot a lot of threes? We did not take enough shots in that last game against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that's been a theme on this road trip, that we split. We had a good game against Cleveland, but then we came out and got stomped out by the Philadelphia 76ers. Lost by 44 points and didn't shoot enough shots, didn't play enough defense, didn't even come out with the right energy to even compete with them. Came back, beat a lowly Detroit team that was not very good at all against us. Gave away a lot of possessions with poor play. We stomped them out 133 points. Then proceeded to let the Oklahoma City Thunder the very next night drop 133 on us. It's just highly inconsistent. We've lost 3 out of the last 6 games. I'm just not feeling none of what I'm seeing from the Lakers. But at the same time, we were also missing so many players to where a lot of those elements that those players bring to the table could have helped balance some of that out. So it's clean slate now. We got everybody. And so we can start to see what we really look like. You know, listening to LeBron James talk, he said and the same thing that Darvin was saying, that it's impossible to assess this team. We don't know who we are because we haven't seen all the elements, key guys that are in our rotation at all. You know, guys that are supposed to play significant roles have been missing most of the season and in different times, you know. So we never quite know who we are. And all things considered, just like I said at the beginning of the video, we're happy to be above 500 with that being the case. Most teams have not suffered the ills of injury like us this season. So hopefully, with this being the first day where we're only missing one guy, our team could really show us who they want to be, at least glimpses of what it is ultimately we want to become. And I'm knocking on wood, asking the basketball gods to be kind to us so that these injuries do not return. So that's really what it is, man. The frustration of injuries is really just taking over our team. It kind of left us with an understanding that we're something that we probably are actually not. You insert the Vando, insert Rui, and insert Gabe Vincent. Hopefully, at some point down the road, we can start to really see who we are, man. Start to see what this team's vision is. Start to see what defensive strengths we actually have. Rebounding strengths that are possible when AD has a Vando next to him and a Cam Reddish next to him. You know, that type of thing. And so I'm excited, man. Hopefully Rui Hachimura could come in specifically and bring in more of that offense, you know, more efficiency. We've missed him out there with size, length, rebounding, scoring, all types of stuff that Rui does, getting his own bucket. So these are really important pieces that we're inserting into our situation today. And so excited, man. That's the vibes. It's early in the morning, so I don't know if anything will change. Hopefully everything goes well for the team between now and tip-off, and we will see all of these players that we're hopeful to see with no blemishes. So that's really what it is, man. And you know, it's a game against the Rockets, man. If you're going to look at the Rockets in any way, you better understand that they have a deep team full of young players that know how to play with one another. That's what it is. They got some vets in there that have kind of glued their team together, and a fantastic coach in Ime Udoka who knows what he's doing as well. I wish I remember who they played between the two Denver matchups. That's what's kind of escaped my mind. I saw highlights of none of these games. I didn't watch any highlights, but I saw stats and paid attention to that. But I just don't remember. I think it was Dallas. Yeah, they saw Dallas and Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving attempted a hell of a lot of shots. They were basically the only two taking shots, and were able to just kind of edge them out in a victory against, of course, the Rockets. And I think the Rockets were missing a key player in that game. I don't remember exactly who it was, but I think they were missing somebody. But nevertheless, that's how that went for them. So that 2-game losing streak is against the two Serbian monsters, man. At the end of the day, most teams are going to lose to them back-to-back if that's how it goes. And, you know, Luka and the Joker are two players that probably are edging each other for MVP right now. You know what I mean? It's one or the other. So It's no shame in losing to them. You can't really take too much stock out of that, especially when in the last matchup they were missing their point guard, who's averaging over 8 assists a game, and Fred VanVleet, who's also been shooting kind of bad in some of those games. So I don't know if that's going to carry over. Him, Dylan Brooks, not shooting the greatest. So maybe some of those ills could kind of carry over into our game. I wouldn't count on it, though. But like I said, the Rockets are not a very good road team this year. So we're hopeful that, you know, we can continue to take advantage of the fact that we are a good home team and get this victory by default in that regard, especially since guys are healthy. In theory, hopefully no setbacks. So, you know, that's what it is. Your Lakers are going to be wearing their whites tonight. The Rockets are going to be wearing their black uniforms on our floor. And, you know, this is not a tournament game, so you're going to see the traditional Laker floor down there. And that's where my mind goes, man. Welcome back, Vando. Couldn't be more pleased that we finally got Rui and Vando and Cam and Hayes. They're all coming back at once. And that's a hell of a lot of length and rebounding defense coming back to your team to assist Bron and AD with reinforcements that they should be on the floor with a lot of the time, man. So now it's about Darvin. It's all on Darvin Ham. We ain't got the excuse with some of these funky lineups that he's been putting out there, man. You know, there's no excuses anymore. You got all of your team more or less, and now it's time to see what it looks like. And if you put your best on the floor at any given moment, we should probably have success, man. At the end of the day, we're one of the deepest teams in all of basketball, and the reason why we have a above 500 record is because of that. We've been able to sustain massive injuries and still remain a good team. If we can get back all of our players, I'd imagine we'd be one of the best teams in the league, given the fact that that's the element in place. And I'm so thankful that our core has been healthy throughout this process. Bron and AD have been able to weather the storm. I think AD's only missed 1 or 2 games this season. Bron's only missed 1 or 2 games this season. We are really happy that our core has been able to hold up. Now we just need their young reinforcements to come in and take some of that pressure off of them, specifically on the rebounding and defensive end. And if that's the case, then it's just upon AD and Bron and the coach to lead us to as far as we're going to go. So that's really where my head is, man. Excited about this matchup, 7:30 Pacific, Crypto.com Arena. I hope everybody enjoys the game. I hope I enjoy the game, because I have not been enjoying these last couple. And so that's pretty much what I got. Of course, I have something for you at halftime at the end of the game there as well. And that's pretty much all that I have on this particular game against the Rockets. BDL 44, I thank you all for watching.